really important to appreciate that in our daily life, in a busy day, we can practice mini meditations on the go, whether it's for 5 minutes. That was 5 minutes, 1 minute even. You could be on the tube, you could just take a point to look at and then gaze at it. So this isn't, we're unwinding our mind through the day. Because during the day we're either winding our mind up slightly or unwinding it, distracting our mind, unwind it. So the difference between this and daydreaming, so let's say I'm looking at the floor now. Daydreaming would be, I have thoughts coming, what am I going to have for lunch? Yeah, that's a thought. I start thinking, oh, well, there's a nice cafe down the road. A few nice Italian down there. And I remember a time that I've been there before, daydreaming. Nothing wrong with daydreaming. But here we're not daydreaming. We're training our mind. So it's like a stream of consciousness. We're looking, but we're not really looking at it because our mind is elsewhere. So when we're looking at a point on the floor, I have this thought, what am I going to have for lunch, come past, but I don't really entertain it. That's the difference. It's just coming. Instead of feeding it and entertaining it, I'm referring back to this point. It's like a reference point. Keep coming back. It's like all these thoughts passing. It's like clouds of thoughts passing, but I'm not following them. Coming back. So it's like refocusing again. It's a training of the mind. That's what we're doing. We're training our mind to come present. Our mind generally gets distracted. It's distracted. The attention concentration span we have is around 2 or 3 seconds. Single pointed. Focus on something, then our mind's gone. So here we're training it. It's coming back, coming back, coming back, and using, in this instance, our gazing, the point on the floor, to bring us into the present moment. And there's many ways to bring ourselves into the present moment. Previously it was listening to the sounds of our friend talking to us. Another practice that we can do, we try to bring ourselves into the room. We try to become aware of the room. How do we become aware of the room? Well, the room has a smell, doesn't it? The room, there's some sounds in the room. Yeah, we just become aware of the sensations in our body against the room. Our body is interacting with the room, isn't it? We can feel the room underneath us. Our body on the chair. We're sitting on a chair now, aren't we? Just become aware of that. That brings us into the present moment. Become aware of the room, and then continuing with the listening practice. If you listen very carefully, you can hear your breath. As we bring our attention inwards, you start to hear your breath. So to hear your breath, it doesn't require deep breathing. We can start deep breathing now, we'll hear our breath, can't we? But if you listen really, really carefully, you can hear your breath. And what starts to happen is you take your attention in. Big part of meditation practice is bringing our attention in. So over the course of the day we'll gradually be bringing our attention inwards. Usually our attention's out there, isn't it? From the moment we wake up, our eyes open and we're gone through the day. And usually the only time we close our eyes is when we fall asleep, when we can't keep them open any longer. But here we're deliberately resting our eyes and going inwards. We're not falling asleep, we're going in and bringing our attention into the present moment and cultivating this mindful awareness and acceptance. An acceptance of imperfection, an acceptance of whatever's happening right now. It's very good when you're learning something. When you're learning something, we always want to do it correctly, we want to do it right. And we can be quite self-critical, and that's the pain in the neck, the critique that we continuously have of ourselves. Whereas here, we're just being aware. You can't do that wrong. So if you're sitting there thinking, am I doing this right? That's just another distraction. We're just sitting here, bringing our attention into the room, and then seeing if we're attentive, seeing if we can hear our breath. So as the session goes on, we can close our eyes completely. Initially, keep our eyes open a little bit, gazing, and then gradually bringing our attention in, bringing our attention in, bringing our attention in. So the more you bring your attention in, the easier it is to focus, because our distractions are usually to do with something out there. We're physically here, but our distractions take us out there. So the more in you become, distractions start to fade away. So let's give that a go, and then we can have a tea break after all this meditation. Okay, we're going to do this practice for 15 minutes. Yeah, we're going to have 15 minutes. So I'll guide you through the first 10. Yeah, I'll be talking, and then the last 5, I'll leave you to your own devices. Try to remember the practice. So just sitting in a comfortable posture.